Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast for Leo. I am Julia Melville, energy worker, Kundalini yoga teacher, connecting our mind and our body and on a mission to break free from the mental mind. Zoe Hind, who joins me again today, is a soul astrologer, well-being coach and personal trainer. And as I say, today we are going to be talking about the elements of Leo and just bringing some different aspects around it. Today also, we often in our podcast do a lot of talking. And because Leo is about the actor, we thought it would be quite fun to have a couple of things where you can take part with us. So hopefully you will be able to join in and do some exercises that we will share with you. Welcome, Zoe. Really lovely to have you here again and to see you.
It's lovely to be back.
So would you like to introduce us a little bit to Leo before we then dive into other aspects?
Certainly. So last month we had a look at the divine feminine water sign of Cancer. And this is the partner to that. So divine masculine fire. And it's quite interesting. Those are the two main luminaries that we have, the two main lights, the sun and the moon. Leo's ruled by the sun, Cancer's ruled by the moon. And they sit at the top almost of the planetary zodiac. So we're dealing with the height of summer, and we're passing from Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, to Leo, which is ruled by the sun. And just as a side note, that's what the lion and the unicorn represent in heraldry. They actually represent the Leo and Cancer, the sun and the moon. And Cancer used to be the unicorn as its symbol. So we're up here at the height of the sky. The corn is high, the sun is supposed to be out and strong, and we're at our golden radiance at this time of year. And like I say, it's divine fire. So we've got Leo, the lion, and Leo is connected very strongly with the heart center and the solar plexus, which we'll be talking about later. And even the word courage comes from cœur, which is French for heart. So we'll be working later with the heart center and the solar plexus to be able to really capture and radiate our light. And actually, because fire is an outward, pulsing, life-giving element. Leo is opposite Aquarius. So I'll bring that in at the end, because we've started to look with Cancer at the opposites, Cancer opposite Capricorn. So now we're going to couple Leo with Aquarius and see how those two work together. But largely we're looking at courage, warmth, radiance, creativity, and expansion into the wonderful divine masculine fire sign of Leo.
Fabulous. That sounds really lovely and really sets us up to then talk further about these areas, particularly, as you say, the heart and the solar plexus. Leo, as you've just said, Zoe, is the element of fire, and it's the fire within us, the fire that can energize us, but that can also burn us out. A breathwork I would like to share with you at the beginning of this podcast is called Lion Breath. Lion breath is a powerful breath in the upper chest and throat. It cleanses out toxins and it's good for the throat chakra and the thyroid. So sitting comfortably, you can either be sitting in easy pose or just sitting on a chair. Extend your tongue out to touch the chin, or as close to the chin as you can get. And then breathe powerfully, forcing the breath over the root of the tongue without rasping. As you're breathing, you're pulling your navel towards your spine. So we'll just practice this breath together for a short time now. So extend the tongue out to touch the chin, and then breathing powerfully, forcing the breath over the root of the tongue. And you're inhaling through the mouth as well. Really slowing the breath down as you are continuing this breath. Closing your eyes so that your focus becomes totally on your breath, totally on the movement of your navel coming towards your spine. And continuing to breathe in this way, just really noticing your breath, feeling the breath in your body, continuing with that powerful breath. And now inhale through your nose, bringing the tongue back into your mouth, keeping your eyes closed, suspending the breath, and exhaling through your nose, keeping your eyes closed. Just notice the energy in your body. Notice where you feel that energy. And allowing this time, this space allows the energy of the breath to integrate into your body. And then inhaling and exhaling and opening your eyes.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing that. So what we're working with here, when we talk about the solar plexus, everybody just thinks of one place in the body. But Leo being ruled by the sun, we actually have 1 trillion light cells in our body, which are made of the same substance as the sun. So in a way, you've got 1 trillion suns running through your body. And a lot of these breathing practices are very useful, not just for bringing up the toxins or the repressed anger and releasing it, but also very much for energizing the whole of the light body.
Absolutely. And another breath work that is really fabulous for energizing the light body is breath of fire. And as Zoe was saying, it's not just about clearing the toxins out of the body, which breath of fire does. Also, when you do breath of fire, you can sometimes get a little metallic-y taste in your mouth, which is quite normal because it's about clearing the toxins. But it is also about really awakening this fire within. So I will explain breath of fire to you now, because then we're going to do some exercises a bit later with breath of fire. Breath of fire is like, if you're not familiar with it, if you start by panting through your mouth, so opening your mouth, sticking your tongue out a little bit and panting, as you're breathing out, you're pulling your navel towards your spine. And then close your mouth and do that same breath through your nose. So it's the inhale comes naturally. So you're exhaling through your nose, pulling your navel towards your spine, inhaling, and then continuing in that way. So it really flows in a smooth rhythm. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you before we go into the exercises. As Zoe was saying earlier, Leo is about the solar plexus, also known as the Manipura, which refers to the third chakra. The meaning of it is lustrous gem in Sanskrit. And the Manipura chakra provides a source of personal power and relates to self-esteem, warrior energy, and the power of transformation. This is where the strength for inner balance, inspiration, and good health is developed. The color yellow is associated with the solar plexus. On one side, a balanced solar plexus chakra makes it easy to find balance between your personal power and harmonious relationships with others. On the other side, an imbalanced third chakra can undermine your self-esteem. It is also around healing the past for the solar plexus. When the solar plexus chakra is balanced, you may find you can exert your will in a way that leads to the expected results effortlessly, and that you have harmonious relationships with your surrounding. So the exercise for the solar plexus that I would like to share with you is stretch pose. You lie on your back on the floor with your legs straight out and your arms by your sides. Raise your head and your legs 6 inches and your hands 6 inches with the palms facing each other. If that exercise is too strong for your lower back, then raise your head and your legs 6 inches, but put your hands underneath the base of your spine just to support you. If your lower back is strong and you're okay with putting your hands 6 inches with the palms facing each other slightly over the hips, this helps to build energy across the navel point. In this position, point the toes, keep your eyes focused on the tips of the toes, and start breath of fire. So you're lying on your back with your legs straight out, your arms by your sides or underneath your lower spine. Raise your head and your legs 6 inches, keeping your focus on your toes, and begin breath of fire through your nose. You can start this exercise for a minute if you can, and then try and build it to 3 minutes. It's an incredibly powerful exercise to strengthen our navel and solar plexus energies.
Great. So we're looking here at empowerment. And as with all of the signs, you've got certain lower aspects of a sign and certain higher aspects of a sign. Those signs want to be able to raise up into their power. So as you say, with the solar plexus, that can be where we hold a lot of our wounds. That can work where we're disempowered. It can be where we give our power away to other people in an energy transfer. And for anybody that doesn't have healthy energetic boundaries, then that can be a place that we're very drained from. So as well as yellow, I'd like to add the color gold. So we've got our inner gold here, our inner sun, our inner power center. And Leo is very much about sovereignty and majesty, the king of, they say, the jungle, but I prefer to see on the plains, the golden plains. So we can even just have a look this month at where we're giving our power away. Have you got any dark knots or tension in your solar plexus? Do you feel like you're leaking or radiating your energy to the world? And in the month of Leo, it's really worth having a look at that solar plexus, our golden light, firing up all of those light cells and being able to be in a fair exchange rather than be in an energy draining scenario. So when we look opposite to Aquarius, we've got Leo is the lion and Aquarius is the king or the emperor with the heart of a lion. So now we're crossing the axis. So we have to be lion heart. We have to be strong in the head, wise, and warm and courageous in the heart. So we're walking across that axis there of Leo and Aquarius. So these are really good exercises to get the head and the heart in balance as well, because in tarot, Leo is ruled by the strength card. So if you've got your tarot decks, then you can have a look at the strength card, which is the purity of the female, which is our human condition or our pure mind, and then the strength of the lion, and that's the heart, but also possibly the ego or pride. Because what we're looking at with Leo is what is it that we need to bring up and release? Have we got too much pride? Have we got too much lower ego? Are we trying to take over and shine too brightly and take up the space and not let other people get a word in edgeways? So we've got that lovely balance of purity and strength, of head and heart in the strength card, as we start to see the axis of Leo Aquarius, the emperor with the heart of the lion. And these are subjects that we can really bring up and work with this month.
Yes, I love that. Thank you. Something else I've been thinking about with the navel center and the solar plexus as well is the navel center is a beginning. It's the first point through which you are fed, nurtured, and given the energy to live as a fetus in the womb. In Kundalini Yoga, the third chakra near the navel is considered the reserve pool of energy within the body. And as it gets stronger, you will find your energy will flow more easily around your heart, and which is where the exercise for the solar plexus that we just did is so good for strengthening that energy. The third chakra is the doorway to the fourth chakra, the heart, as Zoe was just talking about. The heart chakra is associated with compassion, affection, and love, and in Sanskrit is also known as anahata. The energy of the heart chakra starts in the center and expands through the chest. This chakra connects the lower and the upper chakras, acting as a bridge between earthly matters and higher aspirations, which is what Zoe was saying earlier as well. And that our heart is about our own inner wisdom and our own knowing. If you find you're uncertain about a decision, drop down into your heart, feel what the energy is around it, and you will find the answers. And our heart chakra is related to the color green. It represents the central wisdom of feeling, as opposed to the head wisdom of reason. It's compassion and understanding, life-giving and complex. And of course, it's also the symbol for love. An exercise I would like to share with you for the heart, also known as ego eradicator in Kundalini Yoga, is sitting in easy pose or on a chair again, if that's more comfortable for you. Raise your arms to 60 degrees, curl your fingertips into the pads of your palms, and then keeping your thumbs up, the thumbs aim at each other above the head. With your eyes closed, concentrate above the head, and again we're going to do breath of fire through the nose. So your arms are at 60 degrees, your fingertips are curled into the pads of the palms, your thumbs face each other above the head, your eyes are closed, concentrating above your head, and you're doing breath of fire. And you can continue to do this for 1 to 3 minutes, whatever feels good for you. And at the end, inhale, touch the thumb tips together over your head, and then exhale and relax. And just sit and feel the energies in your body. And sitting like this after the exercises really allows the energy of the exercises to integrate into your body as well.
Great. So we were talking earlier about the ego and the lower aspect of Leo. So Leo can be very egotistical. If you think of Aries as the id, Leo as the ego, and Sagittarius as the superego in the 3 fire signs in that particular psychological system, then the lower side can be egotism. But it's very important, especially when we consider the Aquarian opposite. We're not trying to eradicate the entire ego here. Because as we come into the age of Aquarius, which we've recently begun, we need to be individuated souls. And your ego is your individuation. You eradicate that and you'll just become like everybody else. And that's very much age of Pisces thinking. Let's just all mold together and swim in a big school of fish. But this is to do with unique, individuated soul force expression. So when I look at people's charts, I can see their unique vibrational signature. We're all uniquely different. We're here to learn this. We're here to become the expression of it from the heart center and stand with our shoulders back strong and tall and radiate that from the solar plexus, your individual, unique vibrational signature going out into the world and contributing what's happening at these times. So we are eradicating only the lower, selfish, separate, childish, poor little me, competitive aspect of the lower Leo in order that we can stand up, rise and shine and be the expression of our true vibration. So very important to qualify there what aspect of ego we're talking about and how we're taking a journey from the lower to the higher, as always. And the Leo Aquarius is be responsible for your frequency vibration. Send it out into the world. What you transmit, you will receive back on that tone. And this is really where we can control our world around us rather than trying to use the mind or trying to enforce our will. So we're talking about sovereignty, empowerment, and being the true emperor, the true masculine power behind our transmission, and to consider with reason our contribution, our vibrational contribution to these amazing times.
Yes, lovely. And so true. We do not want to eradicate our ego completely. So it's an interesting title for an exercise. But yes, it's good to tame it, like the lion. Thinking around words associated with the heart and the solar plexus, my mind shifted to thinking about faith and trust, and how these exercises that I've shared with you can help build faith and trust with ourselves. With the word trust, I was remembering that I was out walking with a friend last week in unknown territory to me. We were high up, walking along the edge of a moor with a steep rock formation faced to one side of us. We were jumping over the rocks, huge flat rocks, and some with large gaps between them. And as I followed my friend, we talked about finding the way, and I said I trusted him and had faith in him, and did he know what a gift that was? And that started me thinking about my own trust in myself, and what a gift it is when we trust ourselves, and what a gift it is when we entrust our trust to another. I looked up the source of the word trust. Trust is around confidence, protection, support. It also comes from the Old English trioeon, to believe, and is about being firm, solid, and steadfast. Incredibly supportive words. There's almost a warmth around those words. How does trust play out in your life? When you think of someone you trust, what does it feel like? How is your own relationship with trust? And if it feels like there are some gaps, be curious about it. The golden gift of trust can get damaged at a very early age for all of us. And when that happens, it creates distrust around our relationship with self. This can play out in many of our relationships and can really block us. And then the word faith is about loyalty to a person, honesty, truthfulness. How loyal are you to yourself? How honest are you with yourself? And how truthful are you with yourself? Again, this is just about being curious and not about giving yourself a hard time.
Wonderful. So trust and faith. I would take that to the divine level, because we're dealing with the divine masculine. So whereas Cancer and all of that energy is the divine feminine, which you could call the goddess, then here we're looking at the God force, the creator force energy. So what are we really trusting in? What are we really having faith in as we're living these human lives in perception of separation? Then with that heart and solar plexus, the first heartbeat is actually your divine spark. It's actually your connection to the creator. So that would be a beautiful and very simple meditation to do every morning before you get up, is to realize that your heartbeat is your divine spark, the divine masculine, because it's electricity, it's fire. And then have a look at your faith and your trust and your sovereignty and everything we've spoken about today through that higher lens, because now we're really raising from the ego to the soul. And it's interesting that soul and soul, S-O-L, are the same word. So we're dealing with the soul, the sun, the light cells of the body, the first heartbeats, the soul, our expression as we manifest and send that unique frequency out into the world. And this month we've got some astrological aspects that will help us as well. So at the moment we've got both Venus and Mars together in Leo. So Venus being the earth feminine, Mars being the earth masculine on the lower level. Venus is our heart, what we love, who we love, and how we plant it into the earth. If you visualize the symbol for Venus, it's the sun, the soul, and then the cross underneath is where we plant our soul force energy on earth. And Mars is where we take our soul force energy and direct it upwards. So Mars goes from being the angry child and the dynamic human to the spiritual warrior. Now, to have those both together in Leo this month is a real blessing. They're working at odds with the two rulers of Aquarius, which is Saturn and Uranus. We've got a T-square going on, so there's some challenges there, but through challenge, we raise our consciousness. So we can work with that masculine and feminine together with Venus and Mars both in Leo. And then we have Jupiter retrograding back into Aquarius. So I spoke earlier about Aquarius, about the wisdom, the reason, but how we can actually be in command of our frequency and what we're transmitting when we become sovereign. And Jupiter has tipped his toe into Pisces, but we'll go back into Aquarius now later this month, all the way through to December. So go in and find our sovereignty, go in and find our unique frequency, go in and clear any blocks and false perception of separation or belittling beliefs that are hanging around in the heart and the solar plexus. Will be the job of Jupiter in Aquarius all the way through to December. Then on top of that, we have the full moon in Aquarius on the 24th, just as the sun moves into Leo. So we've got a very early degrees Aquarius full moon, and that will be a perfect opportunity to really center in those unique frequencies and to feel your true essence, cleanse with the moon anything that's not of your highest vibration. And then we've got a very interesting new moon in Leo on the 8th of August, and that's often called 8-8, the Lion's Gate. So a new moon on the 8th of the 8th will be coming in to really light that spark and to help us do the energy work that will take us, not just in the old days, it was keep the light through the winter, keep us alive through the winter. But as this is a year like no other, as we enter a new 2000 year phase, this is how we can really center in our light and be the expression of that every day, every second of every day. This shouldn't have to then be a yoga practice or a meditation. We can really harness that light in our heart and our solar plexus and actually be the beacons that we came here to be. So some very powerful, very good Leo Aquarius energy coming in to help us along in the month of Leo.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that, because it's just really a lovely way to look at it and a lovely reminder to remind us to center into ourselves. Something else I was thinking about, of course, is Leo is the lion. And I absolutely love lions. And I literally get a jolt of joy whenever I see a picture of a lion or a stone carving of a lion. And so I really want to encourage all of you to just notice when you see a lion around you and notice what you're thinking at that moment or what you're doing. Because as Zoe said earlier, lions are a universal symbol of nobility, courage, royalty, wisdom, power, and strength. And just magical beasts they are. Thank you so much, Zoe, for joining me for this podcast. And if any of you have any questions, as always, please contact us. You're very welcome to contact either of us. You will find, when we post these, you will find Zoe's links and how to contact her on Instagram or Facebook or through email, and equally the same for myself. So yes, always happy to hear any thoughts you have, any feedback. And we will very much look forward to seeing you next month for Virgo. Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you very much. Have a beautiful month of Leo. Shine brightly.